Tonight, a reunion of dear friends. Todd Bowles and Bruce Arians first met 33 years ago when Bowles was a sophomore at Temple, and his new head coach was a 30-year-old who had come from the University of Alabama, where he's an assistant to Bear Bryant. Bruce Arians. They've been very close ever since. Bowles, before becoming the head coach of the Jets a year ago, spent 2 seasons as Bruce Arians' defensive coordinator here in Arizona. John, they know each other very well. There really aren't any secrets. No big surprises, you would think, tonight between the two of them.
No, but as you said, they know a lot about each other, and strategy is going to be a big part of this one as it unfolds.
And they'll match wits immediately as Arizona won the toss and elected to receive. Most teams defer, but Bruce Arians generally likes to get the ball. He calls the offensive plays and Bowles the defenses for the Jets. So these longtime friends will get after it with each other from the first possession of the game. Nick Folk will kick off. Britton Golden and J.J. Nelson back deep for Arizona. We're underway on Monday night. And a good kick by Folk, about 9 yards deep into the end zone, and J.J. Nelson did not try to bring it out. Carson Palmer back in action after missing last week's game at San Francisco, the first concussion he's ever experienced, he believes. And as we said, when he played in the first 4 games, the numbers not very good. Under 59% completions, 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and 24th in the league in passer rating. Out throwing Palmer over the middle, caught for about a 7-yard gain to Darren Fells, the tight end.
Got to start faster. Get him a completion early. Don't be too aggressive. He's got to use his check down tonight. But most importantly, he's got to be aware of what Todd Bowles is doing, because Bowles is going to mix it up all night. He knows more about Palmer and his Arizona offense than most defensive coaches.
He marked it at the 33-yard line for a gain of 8. First carry of the night for David Johnson, and he has the first down to the 36. We look at the starting lineup on offense for Arizona. John mentioned the substitutes at guard. That's the big concern. John Wetzel hadn't played guard in the National Football League until last week when Mike Upati got hurt. He had to go in an emergency situation and played very well. The backs and receivers, like Michael Floyd, John Brown, capable of being a deep threat, and they love to sling it deep. David Johnson.
Well, that's the problem with his Arizona offense, Sean. They just struggle in the first quarter. Penalties, missed passes, drop passes, fumbled snaps. You get behind in the down and distance, and it's a problem. 0 points in the first quarter for this Arizona offense, and that's inexcusable.
Palmer lost the snap, got it back, lost 2 on the play. David Johnson alone back, and Larry Fitzgerald in motion. Well blocked and on target to Fitzgerald, with Darrelle Revis there to tackle them. 2 former Pittsburgh Panthers. They did not overlap at Pitt. Fitzgerald left the year before Revis arrived on the Pitt campus.
It's a simple hook pattern. Larry's got to be careful with those arms. Not allowed to extend your arms at the top of the route. Got away with one there.
185 straight games now with a catch for Fitzgerald, the longest active streak, and tied with Terrell Owens for the 5th longest of all time. 3rd down and 2, empty backfield. And Palmer's pass low, intended for David Johnson. Looked like there was pressure and perhaps even some contact with Carson as he delivered.
Well, they have Johnson split wide to his left. He's going to run a hook pattern. There's a little congestion in the pocket, but Carson needs to stand strong in the pocket and hit that. Once again, Arizona's off the field.
Brian Quigley spent the last 3 years with the Jets, now a Cardinal. They had a lot of problems on special teams until last week when they were much better in San Francisco. Gabe Martin downs the punt at the 9-yard line. 49-yard punt, no return. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By NFL Game Pass. Replay every game this season. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial. Sun setting on another gorgeous day in the Valley of the Sun. The low 90s outside. The roof is closed. The noise deafening as the New York Jets go on offense for the first time tonight. Skycam brought to you by American Express. Ryan Fitzpatrick with a homecoming from Gilbert, Arizona, about an hour away from this stadium. They bring a blitz and they get there to drop the play for about a 4-yard loss. Matt Forte with Josh Morrow behind the line of scrimmage.
Don't wait long to get Tyrann Mathieu in the game. Comes screaming off the corner. Morrow beats Kellen Davis to the inside, and the Jets continue to struggle running the football.
They do have the veteran Pro Bowler 7 times, Nick Mangold at center. He came out of last week's game at Pittsburgh with a knee injury, had very limited practice time, but he's in there toughing it out tonight. Fitzpatrick slings it wide. Forte dumped immediately. Dayon Buchanan, drafted as a safety but plays mostly linebacker and plays it very well for the Cardinals. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great year for the Jets a year ago. Franchise record 31 touchdown passes and only 15 interceptions. He's thrown 10 already this year, which is most in the league, and his passer rating through the first 5 games worst in the league. He's the first to admit he needs to play better.
Got to be alert for a screen. Jan Gailey, offensive coordinator, loves screens on 3rd and long.
And Bilal Powell has become their 3rd down back, is in at running back. And they do dump it off. And Powell's across the 10 to the 12, but way short of the first down. Marcus Golden, the 2nd-year man out of Missouri, made the stop. So a quick 3 and out. And with 10.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Jets punting team comes out. John Brown back deep. And the Australian, Lachlan Edwards, 24-year-old from Melbourne, who punted in the United States collegiately at Sam Houston State. High but short. Fair catch made by John Brown in Jets territory at the 47-yard line.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 10. 10-yard penalty. Arizona keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
Well, they'll start in their own territory. David Johnson and the Cardinals back on offense after this. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters back at University of Phoenix Stadium. Sold out for every game that's been played in this gorgeous facility since it opened in 2006. This is consecutive sellout number 110, one of the loudest buildings in the league. No score. Cardinals open 1st and 10 from their own 42. Jets showing blitz and bring pressure. It's David Johnson. Beautiful cut. David Johnson off to the races. He will score. Touchdown, Arizona.
So much for that first quarter drought. Sheldon Richardson's a defensive lineman. He's playing inside linebacker. They shoot a gap with Richardson, and Arizona has the perfect play called, a perimeter sweep with right guard Earl Watford pulling, but that's just great open field running, and right away the New York Jets miss middle linebacker David Harris. Here's Larry Fitzgerald, one of the best in all of football at blocking the perimeter.
helping pave the way for the longest run of David Johnson's 2-year career, 58 yards. Chandler Catanzaro adds the extra point, and that's career touchdown number 19 for David Johnson. You saw the graphic a moment ago. He ties Otis Anderson for most in his first 2 years as a Cardinal. Mentioned as we went to break, the touchdown for David Johnson is 19th in the beginning, really, of his second season as a Cardinal, tying the franchise record for most touchdowns in his first 2 seasons with Otis Anderson, who played his first 2 back in 1979 and 80. It took 32 games for Otis Anderson to do that. This is game number 22 in the National Football League for David Johnson, and just his 11th career start. Chandler Catanzaro kicks off. The rookie out of Ohio State, Jalen Marshall, thought about it, and then Bilal Powell told him to stay in the end zone. More and more fans around the league starting to know about David Johnson. We mentioned his 10th career start was last Thursday at San Francisco. In those first 10 starts, he's accumulated 1,353 yards from scrimmage, leads the NFL during that time, and the only active player who had more scrimmage yards in his first 10 starts was the former Texan Arian Foster. 24-year-old from Clinton, Iowa, out of northern Iowa. The 3rd-round pick 2 years ago. Meanwhile, the Jets went 3 and out. First possession started from their 9, this time after the touchback from the 25 with Ryan Fitzpatrick under center. Lots of time and a completion to Brandon Marshall, retreating. Still retains the first down by a yard as he goes down at the 36-yard line with a gain of 11.
And the big man, Brandon Marshall, goes after Tyrann Mathieu. Beautiful pattern. Mathieu is returning to his nickel corner position after playing free safety throughout training camp in the first 5 weeks of the season. He's rusty in coverage, and it showed there.
Coming back from the knee injury. Really wasn't running at 100% to start the year, but he thinks he's full go now. Forte with flags and whistles stopping the play for a false start against New York.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
For the Jets up front, we mentioned the good news. Nick Mangold able to go tonight. The Pro Bowl center Ryan Clady, 4 times a Pro Bowler at left tackle. The backs and receivers, they're without Eric Decker, who worked so well in tandem with Brandon Marshall last year. They're hoping Robbie Anderson, the rookie out of Temple with great speed, can help fill the void in the absence of Decker, out with a rotator cuff that will require surgery. Fitzpatrick after the fake, another whistle.
Another false start.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 47. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Todd Bowles knows how loud it gets in here. Since this building opened 10 years ago, the opponents of the Cardinals have had 139 accepted false start penalties. That is the most in the league during that time. These fans make an impact.
And the specialty pass rushers on the field for Arizona, the most improved aspect, I think, of this defense, their ability to rush.
1st and 20. 4-man rush. They get close to Fitzpatrick and hit him as he got rid of it. That dynamic duo that's formed very quickly. Chandler Jones, the newcomer, with the 2nd-year man Marcus Golden.
Well, Marcus Golden at the bottom of the screen has a great get off. He takes advantage of the noise, and it's a tag team between Chandler Jones and Marcus Golden. Not good enough by the Jets. Back-to-back false starts, and these 2 pass rushers make them pay. 2nd and long, look for a draw or a screen. Got to be very careful if you're Ryan Fitzpatrick.
At least 1 sack, as you saw in every game for Golden. That's the longest such streak to start a season in Cardinal franchise history. Already more sacks than he had all of last year. Forte weaved his way through the middle. DJ Swearinger comes in nickel situations. Made the tackle. And the Cardinal defense with a talented front 3 of Calais Campbell, Corey Peters, and Frosty Rucker. Jones and Golden on the outside. Buchanan and Minter with great talent on the inside as well.
A lot of speed on defense for Arizona. 6 defensive backs. Will they blitz?
On 3rd and 13, Fitzpatrick on the run, way over the head of Brandon Marshall.
You get in a 3rd and long situation, Sean. All season it's been Ryan Fitzpatrick looking for Brandon Marshall. Problem tonight is Marshall is going to be shadowed by Patrick Peterson. Round 1 goes to Peterson, and they're off the field.
Well, it's interesting. We spoke with Fitzpatrick. He said, yes, I know I lock on to Marshall too much. And the Cardinal defender said, we know he locks on to Marshall all the time. They think they can pick one off because of that. John Brown fields the punt and brings it back to the 24-yard line. Bruce Carter down in punt coverage. 49-yard punt by Lachlan Edwards and a 6-yard return. Monday night, DeAndre Hopkins and the Houston Texans off a thrilling victory last night against Indianapolis. Another tough challenge. They'll be in Denver to take on Von Miller and the Super Bowl champion Broncos. 8:15 Eastern time. Coverage starting at 6 with Monday Night Countdown presented by Applebee's. 7-0 Arizona. Carson Palmer quickly to Larry Fitzgerald for a first down. Tackled by Buster Screen after a gain of 11.
You know, Sean, on the opening possession, head coach Bruce Arians saw Sheldon Richardson playing inside linebacker and noted that he was running through on blitzes. So he makes a sideline adjustment. He sees Richardson in there blitzing, and he has the perfect play call. A perimeter sweep with right guard Earl Watford pulling. That's just great stuff by Bruce Arians, adjusting to what he sees from his old defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles.
It resulted in the first points in the first quarter of the season for Arizona. They're the last team to score in the first quarter this year. Every other team had scored in the first quarter through week 4. Todd Bowles' defense, Bruce Arians called this the best defensive line in the league. A lot of talent up front for New York. Darren Lee, the rookie, in for David Harris, whose streak of 121 consecutive starts is over. Harris was the leader of that defense, the signal caller. That role now falls on Marcus Gilchrist. Todd Bowles said he'll call the defenses in part because he's one of the few players for the Jets who stays on the field for every snap on defense. Here's David Johnson, the head for a yard. Pulled down by Steve McClendon. David Johnson, one of 6 children, born in Memphis, Tennessee. His mom, Regina, single mother. When David was born, he had 2 sisters who arrived at the same time. He is a triplet. And he learned from a very early age how to overcome adversity. The family moved to Clinton, Iowa. His mom worked several jobs to support the family. He was not highly recruited out of high school, wound up at Northern Iowa. Worked several jobs while he was in college to help the family pay the bills. Carson Palmer throws, and there's a flag down. He was looking for Larry Fitzgerald, and the flag down near where the ball landed.
Well, it's a blitz. It's a man-to-man situation. Clearly, Revis doesn't agree with the call.
Holding. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Take a look at it. Darrelle Revis working against Fitzgerald. 2 ex-Pitt Panthers. I didn't like that call at all. Revis has battled a wrist injury in the offseason. He's had a hamstring. He did not play last week against the Steelers. You just wonder how healthy he is.
Moving along the defensive line, Sheldon Richardson jump, flag down, perhaps a free play in the double coverage, and J.J. Nelson could not come down with it.
We got 2 separate flags. We know Richardson was offsides. And here's another huddle. by the officials.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Offside, defense number 91. This penalty is declined. Holding, defense number 41. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I really don't know what Sheldon Richardson is, Sean. I asked head coach Todd Bowles what position he plays. He's a hybrid. He's been playing inside linebacker tonight. He's playing right defensive end. Every call that comes in, he's like a chess piece. They move around. That's a big penalty, and it sets up Palmer in a position where Bruce Arians is known to take shots down the field.
4 penalties already against the New York Jets with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They elected to take the offside penalty to make it 1st and 5.
What?
Three receivers to the right. David Johnson went wide to the left. Palmer throws, intended for John Brown, who was on the ground. Here's another flag. Apparently another one against Buster Screen.
Holding, defense number 41. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, the Jets are blitzing, playing man-to-man coverage, and they just can't keep their hands away from these Arizona receivers. Todd Bowles can't believe it. Two pre-snap penalties on their offense on the previous series, and now their defense committing multiple fouls. Not good on the road early.
1st and 10 now for Arizona at the Jets' 47-yard line. One-man rush. They get nowhere near Carson Palmer, and the very rare drop by Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald probably heard Calvin Pryor screaming out of the center field position. Pryor's a big hitter, and Fitzgerald clearly starts running before he catches it, but probably a good thing he didn't catch that one. Pryor has been so up and down. The ex-first round pick out of Louisville has struggled big time as a pass defender, but you love him in the box to defend the run.
On the delay, David Johnson running left across the line before he got driven back. Leonard Williams, Aaron Henderson in on the stop for New York. Here comes 3rd down and 9 for Arizona.
It's hard to run the ball against this Jet defense. They came in number 2 in the NFL stopping the run, but they have the 2nd worst pass defense, Sean. Can this defense of the Jets stop the pass and quit committing penalties?
Well, that's the question I was going to ask you. Do they have great numbers against the run because nobody bothers to run?
That might be part of it.
Yeah, when you throw for 300 per game, why would you run it? Every passer who has faced the Jets this year has had a passer rating of more than 100. Palmer pressured off the corner. Fitzgerald a nice catch, but no gain. Good tackle by Calvin Pryor.
I love the aggressiveness of this Jet defense. It's an empty backfield. They know it's a 5-man rush. So Todd Bowles brings one extra defender that Arizona can't account for. It forces a hot throw, and the Jets are in perfect position. Well done.
Ryan Quigley out of Boston College on to punt. Then a fair catch made by Jalen Marshall at the 12-yard line. 34-yard punt. 7-0 Arizona first quarter. Tonight's quarterbacks are very close friends. Carson Palmer and Ryan Fitzpatrick, teammates with the Cincinnati Bengals in 07 and 08. Palmer was the starter. He got hurt, season-ending elbow injury in 2008. Ryan Fitzpatrick stepped in, started 12 games, went 4-7-1. They remain very close friends. As a matter of fact, Fitzpatrick from Arizona called Carson Palmer early in the week and said, I need help getting tickets. Carson Palmer helped him get 15 tickets. Carson said, I'm not sure I'll see the money, but Fitzpatrick told us he intends to pay him for sure. Ryan flushed from the pocket and tackled by Rodney Gunter after Fitzpatrick gained a couple.
And offensive coordinator Chan Gailey continuing to use 4 wide receivers. Now they bring back in a tight end, but they're using these spread formations, and it's very difficult to run the football with all these wide receivers on the field. And it's Bilal Powell as the single back. Forte is on the sideline.
Chan Gailey calls the plays from the coach's box upstairs. 2nd and 8, under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bilal Powell tackled after a 2-yard gain by the inside linebacker Kevin Minter, 4th-year man out of LSU.
There's just nowhere to run. They don't have a fullback. You're going to see defensive tackle Frosty Rucker get cut on the backside, but Kevin Minter, number 51, quick to make that tackle, and his 3rd down is 6. Patrick Peterson, number 21, in these critical 3rd downs. You know where he's going to be. He's going to be looking for Marshall all night long. He shut him down the last 3rd down.
And follows him in motion and hits him near the line of scrimmage. Fitzpatrick still looking for Brandon Marshall, and that round won by Patrick Peterson.
Well, Patrick Peterson is one of the few corners that will play physical bump and run coverage against Marshall. It's a short motion. It's going to be a crossing route. Marshall told us last night he can't wait to go up against Peterson because he rarely gets man coverage and he rarely gets press coverage. So far, Peterson has been up to the challenge.
He's usually double. He said, I think Peterson might be the best cornerback in the league, but I'm just happy to have single coverage most of the night and press. John Brown, daring catch of the punt by Edwards, and then felt the pressure coming from Sharon Peak and protected the ball. 49-yard punt. Through the first 5 weeks of the season, teams have rung up high scores. It's like it's a game of skee ball against that Jets pass defense. Giving up an NFL high 7 completions and 5 touchdowns on passes of more than 30 yards downfield. Do you ever play skee ball?
I have.
Love skee ball.
I love what we just saw there, and I want to just say this also. They're struggling to defend any kind of pass. They've given up 72% completions, over 300 yards a game, and there's David Harris, middle linebacker, who misses his first start after 121 consecutive.
David Johnson on first down, wrestled down by Sheldon Richardson. No gain on the play. John, we talked to Todd Bowles yesterday. When he was here for 2 years as the coordinator under Bruce Arians, he really made his name by blitzing. They were the highest percentage blitz team in the league, as you see, 45%. Last year, when he went to the Jets, the highest percentage blitzing team. This year, just 28%.
Well, you haven't covered people. I think he's a little reluctant to cut it loose, but he told us he's not protecting anybody tonight. He's going to let it loose, and he should. They're 1-4.
Yep. He said, we're going back to what has worked for us, and here comes a 5-man rush. And the catch made across the middle by Jaron Brown. Stopped short of the first down by Buster Screen.
Well, take a look at some of these shot plays. And Darrelle Revis early in the season, beaten twice on just straight go balls and post patterns. Can't let that happen. A couple times in the middle of the field, Calvin Pryor just falls down, and the Jets have been destroyed. 3rd play of the game last week. Marcus Williams burned for a 70-yard touchdown. Can't win if you're giving up big plays in this league.
Chance for a stop here on 3rd down and 4. Final seconds of the first quarter. Arizona leading 7-0 on a 58-yard run by David Johnson. He went out in the flat to the right. Palmer looking left, and it's batted down by Buster Screen. He's had a little bit of everything here in the first quarter. A couple of very good plays. He's also been penalized a couple of times.
Well, Screen is a good player. He can play inside or out. He's all over Jaron Brown, and man coverage, another blitz by Todd Bowles. Clear what his plan is tonight. Pressure man-to-man.
Ryan Quigley hangs it up high, and Jalen Marshall makes another fair catch just outside the 20-yard line. 41-yard punt.
You know, Sean, Ryan Fitzpatrick needs some help. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's the kind of quarterback that should be carrying an offense by himself. They got to find a running game. They have to stay away from these penalties, and one of these other receivers needs to step up besides Brandon Marshall. They have a couple undrafted rookie free agents. You see number 11, Robbie Anderson. He's a man that can run. Somebody's got to pick up the slack and help Fitzpatrick tonight.
Quincy Enunwa, the motion man for the New York Jets. Matt Forte stood up as he crossed the line, still powered forward off the hit of Josh Morrow. That will likely be the final play of the first quarter. Just 27 yards of offense for Todd Bowles and the Jets in the quarter, but they're down by just 7. 7-0 Cardinals. No other night is Monday night. Saturday night on ABC, Heisman candidate J.T. Barrett and second-ranked Ohio State. They're going to take on another tough Big Ten opponent on the road. They'll be in Happy Valley to battle Penn State. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern time on ABC. Also streaming live on ESPN app. That fan will probably watch it on the app. And watch ESPN. On to the second quarter we go in Glendale, Arizona. 2nd and 8 for the Jets. Matt Forte took the handoff from Ryan Fitzpatrick and crossed the 25 to the 26. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Marcus Golden and Calais Campbell combined on the stop.
Well, the Jets are trying to run Matt Forte, but just 4 rushes for 8 yards. And in these 3rd down situations, defensive coordinator James Betcher has done a great job, particularly in the last 3 weeks, dressing up the formations that he shows with his pass rushers. They can line up everywhere.
Sorry, John. Betcher, one of the rising stars in coaching, just 38 years old, 3rd youngest defensive coordinator in the league. Learned a lot from Todd Bowles in their 2 years together here. Betcher brings a blitz, and Fitzpatrick incomplete. And the flag is thrown. Brandon Marshall wanted it, and he's going to get it against Patrick Peterson.
Calling it very tight tonight. First down, Jets.
Pass interference. Defense number 21. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
They put Marshall on the backside of trips. They love to isolate him, and boy,
wow,
that's a tight call. Calling it close.
Yes, they are. Here they are matched up one-on-one again, although no press coverage this time from Peterson. Movement over the ball, and then Mangold stuck his hand out and touched Corey Peters after he jumped.
Encroachment. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Brandon Marshall, 11th year in the league. He's never been in the playoffs. He said sometimes he presses too hard. And all he wants to do at this stage in his career is win. He's put up impressive numbers, but never played in a postseason game, nor has Fitzpatrick, who finds Marshall. He gets away from Peterson. He's inside the 30, chased out of bounds, and a late block by Robbie Anderson blasted Marcus Cooper.
I love the route. Marshall versus Peterson. This is what you pay to see. Watch Marshall close this cushion down, change speeds, come out of that break nice and flat. Peterson falls down, and Brandon Marshall, who was covered on 2 previous 3rd downs, has beaten Peterson on back-to-back plays. Here come the Jets in an area, Sean, they have struggled, the red zone.
26 catches for Marshall. That one for 36 yards. He's caught a pass in 150 straight games. 2nd longest active streak behind Larry Fitzgerald. He's already extended his. Inside fake to Forte. Fitzpatrick looking for anybody. Finds some help. And Anderson, who just decked Cooper, gets a little shove in return from DJ Swearinger.
This Fitzpatrick, he plays the quarterback position with a very unorthodox style. It's a bootleg to his left. He's going to be in serious trouble. You're going to see Chandler Jones in hot pursuit. Number 29, Harold Simon is there, and somehow, some way, he finds a Jet receiver to set him up in 2nd down and 4.
The handoff to Bilal Powell. Turned the corner outside. Bounced off a couple of hits. Has the first down and then some. Little woofing from DJ Swearinger at the end. There is a flag.
Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Ryan Clady, the big left tackle in his first year with the Jets after a great run in Denver. A lot of injuries in recent years for Clady.
That's a bad penalty. Chandler Jones, number 55. Versus Clady at the point of attack. Not going to miss those calls. And the Jets have self-destructed in the red zone this season. And they continue to commit penalty after penalty and fall behind in the down and distance.
6th New York penalty. It wipes out a 10-yard gain and a first down. 2nd and 14. From the Cardinals 28. They set up a screen. Forte. Is it incomplete? Yes, it is. He got hit just as the ball arrived. Kevin Minter was there for Arizona.
They're all over these screens and these long yardage situations. Watch Kevin Minter. They're going to fake a quick screen to the right and try to fool Minter. And James Carpenter at left guard fails miserably in his assignment. Minter has been an every down tackling machine here in Arizona. 3rd down and 14. Keep an eye on Chandler Jones at the bottom of the screen. He's feeling it.
Fitzpatrick with time, throws short, caught, but for very little gain. Good tackle by Tharold Simon on Charon Peak. So the field goal unit comes on.
Nick Folk, who missed a lot of last season with an injury, won the job in training camp. That only miss was a short field goal against Cincinnati. Let's see if Folk can put the Jets on the board.
Bit of a homecoming for Nick as well. He kicked collegiately at the University of Arizona. 39-yard try to get the Jets on the board, and it is good. With 12:06 to go until halftime. 7-3 Cardinals. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. By ESPNshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. And by Dunkin' Donuts. Keep on fueling your football fandom. Mentioned at the top of the telecast, the relationship between Todd Bowles and Bruce Arians goes back 33 years to Temple, when Bruce was a young head coach, age 30. Bowles, sophomore safety, the projects of Elizabeth, New Jersey. Very close friendship formed. Bruce Arians, being blunt, told Todd Bowles back then, you're never going to play in the National Football League with your very bad wrist, so you might as well get into coaching. Todd decided to give playing a try and played 8 years with distinction, won a Super Bowl ring with the Redskins. Todd Bowles said that's about the only bad advice Bruce Arians ever gave me. They're very close. Todd said he'd describe it as a father and son relationship, but Bruce doesn't like that because it implies that Bruce is old.
A lot of respect between those two men, and they're great competitors. They weren't real good friends this week. They said there was no contact whatsoever. I'm interested to see what Todd Bowles knows about Bruce Arians' offense. Does he know the snap count? Does he know the audible system, the line calls? Does he know a lot about the tendencies? So far, Bowles has been on the money, other than one play.
And Bruce Arians said with that in mind, they did change a lot of those things, like the hand signals. Back to the run with David Johnson. Couldn't get away from the pile. Leonard Williams having a terrific second season out of USC.
I'm shocked that the Arizona Cardinals continue to run the football. I know Johnson had a long run, but you keep hearing about this Jets secondary that's given up over 300 yards a game. They can't defend the deep ball. We can't defend the underneath coverage. 70% completion. Right now, Arizona, 5 completions for 35 yards. I want to see him throw it.
And they haven't completed deep balls as they did last year. Bruce Arians, though, says they've been there. We just haven't executed. We're going to keep doing it. Here's a deep ball down the field and too long for Larry Fitzgerald. with his fellow Pitt Panther Darrelle Revis running stride for stride.
Well, I love these matchups on both sides of the ball. Darrelle Revis against Fitzgerald. Early in the game, Larry catches a hook route. Then Fitzgerald does a nice job on the long touchdown run, and Revis got called for a little holding here. That time, Revis one-on-one on a go ball. Does a nice job against Fitzgerald. 3rd down and 9. 2 backup guards. Watford at right guard. Wetzel at left guard. And Arizona needs a timeout.
Yeah, they're still in the huddle with the play clock at 8. Two teams don't play each other very often. Just the 9th meeting all time. It's the Jets' first appearance ever in this stadium, which opened in 2006. Last time they played in the Valley of the Sun, 04, when the Cardinals were playing at Sun Devil Stadium. 3rd down and 9, opening play out of the timeout. And a throw and catch by J.J. Nelson. Carson Palmer on target, and then they pick up the first down with about 2 yards to spare. Buster Screen had the coverage. 11-yard gain.
J.J. Nelson extremely fast. Does a nice job coming back for the football, and Palmer with great location on the outside breaking route. First down, Arizona.
Now they hand it off to J.J. Nelson. Nice move, stayed in bounds, got the first down, and crossed midfield to the Jets' 49. Sheldon Richardson, the big man, chasing him downfield. A gain of 14 for Nelson.
Over the top around, and John Brown on the perimeter laid a beautiful block. Watching Arizona practice the other day, Nelson, very slight but extremely fast. You see the block by John Brown. Good play selection against this aggressive New York defense.
First carry of the season for J.J. Nelson. They swing it out wide. Steady diet of Nelson. He's shoved across the boundary by Buster Screen. A pickup of 5 more for Arizona.
And you have to wonder where Michael Floyd is. Floyd, former first-round pick, is in a contract year, has had a hard time catching the football. I thought he'd be the X factor for this Arizona offense, but he has spent a lot of time on the sideline watching the game. They need to get him going somehow. But Nelson has filled in nicely.
Nelson out of UAB. Carson Palmer, now 36 years old. They bring a blitz at him, and John Brown didn't know the ball was coming. There's a flag down against Buster Screen again, apparently.
Pass interference. Defense number 41. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
3rd time Buster Screen has been penalized. Take a look at it. Brown's going deep. Palmer wants to throw the back shoulder throw. I don't agree with these calls. Some of these are just too tight. You got to let these guys play. A lot of pass interference calls in the first half, and wow.
Saw Screen frequently penalized, but you're right. Calling it very tightly. 3 penalties tonight against Screen. First down, Arizona. Palmer couldn't find anybody. Now he does. It's Larry Fitzgerald, swung down by Darrelle Revis at the 13-yard line. Another first down for Arizona.
Great pass protection. You give Carson Palmer this much time against man-to-man coverage, I don't care who you have in the secondary. Good movement in the pocket, and Larry Fitzgerald separates versus Revis. Watch. Fitzgerald at the top of that route. He got square. He made Revis defend both sides of the break. That's an outstanding route.
4 catches for Fitzgerald tonight. 1,053 for his career. 9th all-time on his way to the Hall of Fame. David Johnson skipped across the 10 to the 9. Here's Lisa.
Well, Sean, I asked Darrelle Revis how he thinks he's played so far this season, and he said, not up to my standards, but he said he knew it was going to take time to get back to 100% coming off the wrist surgery. He said his strength has always been pressing at the line of scrimmage, and because the wrist is still not all the way there, to use his words, he's been forced to take his lumps, which he says he doesn't mind. He said, I've been scored on before, it's okay, but what he doesn't like is how quickly people have jumped off the bandwagon saying he doesn't have it anymore. Sean?
Well, some starting to wonder if he's nearing the end. He's 31 years old. His play certainly not up to its usual standards so far this year. Fitzgerald, nice catch. And the Jets are saying he didn't have possession of it. The ball came loose after he crossed the boundary. They're going to give him the catch, and he's a yard short of the first down.
Larry Fitzgerald, 33 years old, has done it all. Clearly has possession and 2 feet. I think that's enough of a football act. Our friend Jerry Austin is up here giving us the catch signal. But I love the way Fitzgerald is playing at 33 years old. He can play in the slot. He can go outside, and he's a touchdown maker in the red zone.
Rumors this might be his last year. He told us yesterday that is not the case. He does not intend on retiring at the end of the year. Why would he? The way he's playing. David Johnson on 3rd and short gets the first down.
And in these goal line situations, Sean, head coach Bruce Arians did not carry a fullback. Be alert for draft choice Evan Bain. But they're going to stay with these open formations. A lot of these are run pass check with me's. They'll call a running play. Palmer will look at the defense, and if they load the box, he'll hand signal to one of these receivers. And Floyd is in the ball game. He's a big target. Number 15, he's in the slot.
Quick hitter, and it's knocked down, incomplete. Batted down by Muhammad Wilkerson.
Wilkerson only has 1.5 sacks. That bothers some people, but this man shows up. Rarely comes off the field. He diagnoses screens and quick screens as well as anyone, and he's got great hand-eye coordination. He can bat down balls. That's a big play because Fitzgerald would have walked.
His 1.5 sacks came in the opening game against Cincinnati. Hasn't had one since. Jets had 7 in that game. They've had 5 in the 4 games since. 2nd and goal. David Johnson right through the middle, untouched. Touchdown, Arizona. 2nd of the night for David Johnson.
That was easy. Very creative blocking scheme. Watch Gresham, number 84, at the point of attack. Good work.
Sometimes, John, play callers get in rhythm. It looked like Bruce Arians found his on that drive.
He sure did. Pass interference helped.
Chandler Catanzaro adds the extra point. 11 plays on that drive, 75 yards. It took 5:25 to do it. 14-3, Arizona. Back in Glendale, Arizona, Patrick Peterson and the Cardinals now leading Brandon Marshall and the Jets 14-3.
Pay to see this early in the game on 3rd down. Peterson was up to the challenge, and then on the last possession, Brandon Marshall with a beautiful route and finish. Patrick Peterson is one of those corners I think that could play both ways, and I don't care how strong you are as a defender, when you go up against Brandon Marshall for 60 minutes, his size and strength at times can get the best of you also. We're in for a good one.
Jalen Marshall down the kickoff from Chandler Catanzaro. Well, these Arizona Cardinals have competition with the bucket challenge.
Well, the quarterbacks, some of the DBs like Patrick Peterson, they throw balls into a bucket. And whoever loses has to dress up and do something stupid. And this week, the loser was Patrick Peterson. We got here early. That's Patrick Peterson doing something really stupid, and we caught him. He's dressed up like a dinosaur, and believe it or not, that's the great Patrick Peterson underneath that Halloween costume. I love guys that have a little fun with their life.
Well, Carson Palmer came out as a marshmallow a couple weeks ago. Looked like the Michelin Man. Here comes a blitz. Fitzpatrick hit as he threw it. But Robbie Anderson couldn't hang on with Marcus Cooper in coverage. They acquired Cooper from Kansas City right before the year started. He's been a big acquisition by the general manager, Steve Keim.
Oh, he said it on the last possession. The Jets need a big play from somebody. Robbie Anderson on a straight go ball has a chance to go up and snatch it, but Cooper does a great job in the blind spot. You're playing pass coverage. You don't see the ball until the last second. You got to flip your head and find it. Great work.
Got him from the Chiefs for a conditional 2018 draft choice. Matt Forte on 2nd and 10, a hard-earned yard. 3rd down and 9 now for Ryan Fitzpatrick, this veteran New York Jets offense. Matter of fact, the Jets offense averages 29 years per age for the entire unit. The only offense older in the league is Arizona's, just a little bit older.
Got to be real careful. 57 Okafor, 55 Jones. Golden at the top of the screen has a sack in every game this year.
Marshall lined up on the left hip of Fitzpatrick and then went in motion. 0 for 4 on 3rd down tonight. They've averaged 11 yards to go, and that's through the hands of his intended receiver, Quincy Enunwa.
Protection is breaking down, but Ryan Fitzpatrick has to make some of these throws or the Jets are going to continue to lose football games. It's not a clean pocket, but Enunwa separates, and you have to make these throws. Beautiful route by Quincy Enunwa. Ball's thrown clearly over his head, and you have to wonder, will the Jets consider one of these other quarterbacks? They have enough of it.
There's 4 on the roster, the only team that carries 4. The 2 are inactive tonight. Not a good punt there by Locke Edwards, his 4th punt of this first half. Timeout, 5:39 to go till halftime. Monday Night Lights. We look back to Saturday. Players from 3 area high schools gathered at the Cardinals practice facility in Tempe for a heads-up football clinic conducted by USA Football, and our own John Gruden put them through a lot of different things, obviously. Oh, look at that. Very impressive agility, I think. We didn't actually see you get up or how long that it took. But always a good time, and Coach has done that every weekend throughout the country, visiting with youth football teams and high school teams. 37-yard line, the line of scrimmage for Arizona after a 37-yard punt by Locke Edwards. They tried to bring pressure up the middle, and they do, and Carson Palmer threw it away. So what were you doing there with those young people at the end?
Well, we're doing a little reaction drill. You know, you need to get quicker, so you got to react. You know, move your hands, move your feet. It's about throwing a punch first. Get in there.
They're scaring me.
Capturing the line of scrimmage. You got to get quicker.
I do.
Jets got to get quicker.
How old are you? I mean, we don't want to give away your baby.
That was Brooks Brothers shoot.
Fair, yes. That's why I was a little afraid I might, rip something if we try to move too quickly.
I love high school football, and they got a lot of good players here in Arizona.
They do.
Appreciate the Arizona Cardinals for allowing us to use their facility. Their little dome here is nice and air conditioned.
Well, they need it. Still in the 90s here, day to day. Mid-90s here today. Another gorgeous day. David Johnson in trouble again. Good penetration by the Jets defense. The rookie Darren Lee getting the start tonight with David Harris out. First-round pick out of Ohio State with a nice play.
Well, they're trying to run a draw play at the bottom of the screen. Lee is going to run through on a blitz and use his speed. The leading tackler, first-round pick out of Ohio State. He's been known to blitz. He was a very good one for the Buckeyes.
They almost didn't give him a scholarship at Ohio State. They weren't sure what position he'd play. Thought he was a little bit undersized to be a linebacker. He's 232 now. Excellent speed. Loss of 5. Here comes a blitz again. Pryor up the middle. Dumped off to Johnson. And he got away from Richardson, but did not get the first down. The ball came out, but he's ruled down well short of the first down marker. And Arizona will punt on 4th down.
You're going to see some exotic things from Todd Bowles. Watch Calvin Pryor, a safety blitz, and a defensive end, Sheldon Richardson, cover David Johnson. At the top of the screen, Sheldon Richardson can do a lot of things. Rushing, covering.
Ryan Quigley, a short punt. Fair catch on the move made by Jalen Marshall. And he got knocked down by Darryl Roberts. No harm, no foul. Well, the Jets are behind, and if you're looking for improvement in the second half, you shouldn't think so. These are updated numbers with tonight. Entering tonight, they had more or less held their own in the first half, and Fitzpatrick had played well through the first halves of the season. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. But in the second half this season, they've been outscored 68-30. They've scored 7 points in the third quarter the whole year. And look at those numbers for Ryan Fitzpatrick. No touchdowns in the second half, 9 interceptions. Trying to come from 11 down against an Arizona team that doesn't blow double-digit leads. Matt Forte, the ball carrier.
And you have to wonder, Sean, if the Jets are thinking about Geno Smith. Somebody to jumpstart this Jets offense. Geno Smith, a former second-round pick. We know how he lost the starting job. An incredible incident in the locker room. He got punched in the jaw, but he has talent. He's been wildly inconsistent. Love to see where he is in year 2 of Chan Gailey's offense. They need somebody to jumpstart this offense, and they've got 2 other quarterbacks that are pretty good prospects on the sideline. Christian Hackenberg, a second-round pick. You see Bryce Petty, a 4th-round pick out of Baylor. I don't know if their practices are long enough to get all these quarterbacks reps, but I'm sure Todd Bowles is wrestling with what to do behind center.
Well, we asked him last night, why do you have 4 quarterbacks, the only team in the league? He said there's a very good reason, but I can't tell you. At some point, you will know why we're carrying 4. Fitzpatrick handed it off. Matt Forte very close to the first down. They're going to mark him down shy by about a yard. Here's Lisa.
Hey, Sean, well, I talked to Geno Smith while he was out warming up pregame, and the first thing he said to me was that he remembered this time last year when he saw us and he wasn't playing, recovering from the jaw injury. He said he remembers me telling me then that he wouldn't mind sitting, not getting his job back, as long as his team was winning, and the Jets won 4 of the first 5 games last season. Now Geno told me tonight that things are the opposite. The team isn't winning. They haven't played well. He said, I'm getting antsy. Sean?
Jets fans getting antsy, but they're likely fighting to save their season tonight. Already 1-4. Only 6% of teams in this playoff format have made the playoffs after a 1-4 start. And Forte drops the ball on 3rd down and 1. Flag down.
Going to be a pick play against the Jets. This one is going to work in Arizona's favor.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
Marshall came across in motion. He gets called for a pick. And I was surprised to see Forte drop that football, but short yardage, 3rd and 1. Last week against the Steelers, they couldn't convert. And that was a big one here tonight. Penalties. It's embarrassing how many penalties we've seen in the first half.
Forte has 501 career receptions, 10th all-time among running backs. He doesn't drop many. Here comes another flag and a fair catch made on the Edwards punt by John Brown. 50-yard boot.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 28. 10-yard penalty. Arizona keeps the ball. 1st down.
I wonder if Jerome Boger is in SAG or after, because when you have this much of a speaking role on TV, you're supposed to belong to the union. Coming up on the Toyota halftime report, Boomer's final drive. He'll be talking about the great Cowboy rookies Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. America's team 5-1. And our first take crew, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, will talk about Cam Newton. Another tough loss. Dreadful defense again for Carolina yesterday in New Orleans, and Cam more than a little bit testy at the press conference, if you can call it that. Very short appearance in front of the microphone before he stomped off.
2 timeouts for this Arizona offense. Let's see how they approach this. Backed up.
Leading 14-3. The toss to David Johnson.
Another flag.
Shocker. Marcus Williams, Muhammad Wilkerson on the stop for New York.
Holding. Offense, number 11. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Yeah, I figured this out, John. You know what this is? Jerome Boger and his crew are making up for the lost opportunity in Canton, Ohio at the Hall of Fame game. They were supposed to be the officiating crew for the Hall of Fame game that got canceled because they couldn't paint the logos on the field. So they're a little antsy to throw some flags. They had one less rep just like we did because we didn't get to call a game that night.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I hope these penalties subside.
12 combined. Line of scrimmage, the 5-yard line, 1st and 15. Todd Bowles said they'd blitz more, and they have, but Palmer got it off quickly to Jerron Brown, who's down about 4 yards short of the first down. Again, Marcus Williams and Muhammad Wilkerson.
One thing to do with Calvin Pryor, if he's struggling to cover, blitz him. That's the 3rd time I've seen Pryor blitz Carson Palmer.
2-minute warning. 14-3 Arizona on Monday Night Football. Bruce Arians and the Cardinals leading 14-3 at the 2-minute warning first half. They've been great with the lead. They've won 28 games in a row. When they've had a lead of 10 or more points, that is the longest streak active in the league. See how he plays it at the 2-minute warning, deep in his own territory at the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 5.
It's been a blitz on almost every play.
And the Jets crowd the line again. They rush 5. Palmer gets rid of it. On target for a first down to the tight end, Jermaine Gresham. Just his 6th catch of the year. Neither of these teams uses the tight end in the passing game very much.
Well, it's blitz, man-to-man. Good pickup by Johnson and a great throw by Palmer against Bruce Carter, a backup linebacker. Keep an eye on number 21, Marcus Gilchrist. He is calling all the shots, communicating what to do for this Jet defense with David Harris not on the field.
Out tonight with a hamstring injury. Harris had started 121 in a row. Palmer dodged the traffic and then threw short of John Brown. Pressure from Leonard Williams and Sheldon Richardson.
And they need Leonard Williams to turn this game around with some kind of great play. They need a sack. They need a strip. They need to cause a fumble, an interception. They have 2 passes intercepted all year on defense. Williams has 5 sacks, the 2nd-year man out of USC. He's been an excellent inside rusher. Somebody on this defense needs to flip the field and set the Jet offense up.
Again, they bring pressure, and Palmer's throw is a duck and almost picked off by Buster Screen. And you mentioned it, John. We talked to Todd Bowles about why haven't you been blitzing. I think he thought they could rush with 4 because of the line, and they needed to protect back end. But now they're trying to blitz in part to create turnovers.
Yes, and this was a crazy blitz. You see Williams at the bottom of the string beating DJ Humphrey badly, and he punishes Carson Palmer. 3rd down and long. They need a stop, perhaps a quick timeout. Try to get something before the half. And Todd Bowles has blitzed on almost every single play.
They're creeping up again, this time just a 4-man rush, but they put pressure on Palmer. Take the check down to Johnson. And it looks like he stopped short of the first down. Darren Lee, Aaron Henderson in tandem. They're signaling 4th down. The clock is running. And now it's stopped. The Jets want to make sure it's not an Arizona first down before they use the timeout.
You see Darren Lee, the rookie out of Ohio State, closing in coverage on one of the few zones we've seen tonight.
The reason they stopped the clock is there's an injured Jet. Lorenzo Malden, backup linebacker. And the Cardinals are short of the first down by about a yard. Malden goes off. Hasn't played much this year, only 17 snaps per game for Coach Bowles. A lot of talk in the offseason if Malden, a second-year man out of Louisville, would be an every down player, or most every down. Ryan Quigley. High short punt. Jalen Marshall to catch. 42-yard punt. Well, they had the moment of silence before the game to honor, among others, Jets legend Dennis Byrd. Passed away in a two-car accident in Oklahoma on Saturday evening, just 50 years old. Of course, known for the game in 1992 in which he suffered a serious spinal injury that left him paralyzed. Doctors told him he'd likely never walk again. He immediately said that was not true, and it turned out not to be true. He did indeed walk again. There's Marty Lyons, his former Jets teammate. Very sad today. Appeared on Outside the Lines to talk about the great Dennis Byrd. The team's most inspirational award named for Dennis Byrd. Certainly our condolences go out to his family, entire Jets organization. Tremendous loss of a wonderful man. Wonderful family man and a man of faith. Sharon Peake yanked down. He was down before Tharold Simon ripped the ball out. 8-yard gain, and now the Jets need to operate in a hurry.
And Robert Kimdichie, the first-round draft choice of the Arizona Cardinals, is in to rush the passer. He's wearing number 90.
I love his physical talent. He's still learning what they want him to do. Down to down. Marshall in traffic, held on with Patrick Peterson draped all over him.
So productive. His size and strength has been a winning edge for him for years. That's great concentration, strong hands. It's an unbelievable catch, and he has hands in his face to boot.
23-yard gain, just the 4th first down of the game for New York. They used their second timeout. They were charged one for the injury to Malden. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. So one timeout left for New York with 49 seconds to go in the half, and the ball at midfield.
And at a clock stoppage in the 2-minute situation, you can almost bet your per diem that Arizona's going to blitz Fitzpatrick, who is not a scrambling quarterback.
Golden got off the snap very quickly but didn't get to Fitzpatrick, and Sharon Peake out of Clemson spins for a first down inside the 40-yard line. Tyrann Mathieu nearest at the tackle. An 11-yard gain. They come quickly to the line. Career long for Folk is 56 yards. That's about what this would be. Try to shovel pass. At least for the moment it's a live ball. Recovered by the Jets, but a loss on the play, and the clock is ticking, and the Jets not in any hurry.
Unbelievable. Clock is going to expire.
They need to be aware of the situation here and do something.
Finally, 9 seconds. The clock stops. Fitzpatrick looking for Marshall. He was completely fooled by coverage. Arizona ran underneath Marshall and doubled him, and a lot of seconds ran off.
I think they might come back on, though, John. They're going to review the play, and I think they're going to try to ascertain if it was a forward pass and incomplete. And if that's the case, the clock should have stopped, and there'll be some time back on for New York. As they take a look at it, we'll step aside. 14-3, Arizona on Monday night. Ruling on the field, fumble recovered by the offense. The clock kept ticking. The question was it an incomplete forward pass on the shovel by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And if it was incomplete, they'll have to add some time to the clock.
Here comes Jerome Bogert, the referee.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass. The quarterback's arm was moving forward. Please reset the game clock to 24 seconds. The Jets are not charged. They timeout. Thank you.
That'll be second down and 10.
At the Arizona 39-yard line.
And when this clock stops, it gives the defensive coordinator time to dial up his best stuff. And James Betcher, the B in Betcher stands for blitz. He loves to blitz. I'd be shocked if they don't bring another one at a clock stoppage.
One timeout left for New York. They're on the fringe of field goal range for Nick Folk. They're lined up as if they're coming after Ryan Fitzpatrick. They overload to the left side of the Jets offensive line, and here comes a flag.
False start. Offense. Number 14. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Thought a very interesting thing that Ryan Fitzpatrick said about himself yesterday. I tend to overthink things. And there was an awful lot of gesticulating with the crowd going crazy. At some point, you have to just do something, don't you?
No doubt. He's a smart man. We know that. He's got Harvard in his background, but taking a delay of game in this situation, not smart.
The 8th New York penalty for 59 yards. 2nd and 15, the Arizona 44. Well blocked. Time for Fitzpatrick. It's over the head of Robbie Anderson, who looked like he lost interest, who thought the ball was going somewhere else. Harold Simon had the coverage.
Oh, Robbie Anderson is the one man on this team that has great speed, but he's very light and slight. And the ex-Seattle Seahawk, Harold Simon, walks him right into the boundary. Jets need somebody other than Brandon Marshall to make a play, and James Carpenter, their starting left guard, is hurt.
"19 seconds to go until halftime. 3rd down and 15 for New York, down 14-3.
Bottom of the screen, Peterson versus Marshall.
Carpenter went off. The Jets now out of timeouts. 5-man rush. Pressure on Fitzpatrick and nobody home in the general direction of Chiron Peak.
They just don't have enough firepower on offense to beat man coverage. Anderson on the previous play. Peak on this one. This is Robbie Anderson. Ball's intended for Peak in the slot. 7th round pick out of Clemson, working against Marcus Cooper, and nowhere to go and a lot of pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Disappointing series. Penalty kills him again.
Yep. Looked like they were at least in field goal range. Penalties have been a killer. Locke Edwards' 6th punt. Downed inside the 7-yard line by Rontez Miles. And on those replays, John, you saw what a great job Steve Keim, the general manager, has done. Harold Simon, who had terrific coverage on Anderson, picked up in week 2 after he was waived by Seattle. They traded for Marcus Cooper right before the season started. Over the last 3 years, really the best stretch in the history of Cardinal football with double-digit wins. Terrific ownership in place with great stability from Michael Bidwell. Steve Keim on the right. There's Michael Bidwell, the owner, on the left in the white shirt. And Steve Keim said, the owner has given us everything we need to be competitive, and Keim and Arians with their staffs have done a terrific job.
What a great battery it is. Be interested to see what the Jets do at halftime to get back in this game. They get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Will it be Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Coming up next, Toyota halftime. 14-3 Cardinals at the break. Here's Chris Berman. We're back at University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona, heading for the 2nd half. The Arizona Cardinals leading the Jets 14-3. Sean McDonough, John Gruden. When you look at the numbers, it's not hard to figure out why the Jets have only 3 points. 0 for 7 on 3rd down. 8 penalties, really a killer.
And the penalties have been on both sides of the ball. But if you fall behind in the down and distance against this Arizona defense in this noise, you're going to be 0 for 7.
So other than stop committing penalties, what can the Jets do to get this going?
Well, they get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Hopefully, Coach Bowles has settled them down. 1 score and they're back in this game, but they got to clean up their football on both sides of the ball and find some offense. I don't know if he's considering a quarterback change. I know they have 4 on the roster, but they need somebody to spark this offense and get them back in this game.
They had 130 yards of offense. 70 of them came on 3 completions to Brandon Marshall. Not a lot of big plays for Arizona either. They had the 58-yard touchdown run for the first score of the game from David Johnson. Jets team with high hopes entering the season after the near miss with the playoffs a year ago. They were out of the playoffs for the 5th year in a row. Looking at 1-5 to start this year unless they can rally in the second half, and they've been a dreadful second half team, particularly lately. Just 7 points in the third quarter all year. Chandler Catanzaro kicks off through the back of the end zone over the head of Jalen Marshall. Here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Sean, well, I asked Todd Bowles how he hopes to generate some more offense in the second half, and he said, hey, we've got to protect the quarterback better. He said Fitzpatrick has to do a better job of recognizing situations and getting the ball out quicker, but he's not getting any time. I then asked Bowles if he was considering making a quarterback change, and he says it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. If you're not blocking for him, they're all going to get killed. He said we've got to just do a better job of blocking up front. Sean?
That would certainly help. Thank you, Lisa. From the 25, Matt Forte. That's another question I have, Coach. Matt Forte at the beginning of the year was one of the good stories in the league. Carried the ball 30 times in their win against the Buffalo Bills, but the numbers going down week to week for Forte.
They're playing a very difficult schedule. Don't forget that. This is the 5th playoff team that the Jets have faced. That has a lot to do with his struggles, but Todd Bowles said it best. They're just not blocking well enough in the running game or in their pass protection.
Trying to get the running game going, and Forte could not get back to the line of scrimmage.
There's nowhere to go. They run right into a blitz. And Corey Peters, who missed last season with an Achilles injury, shows some lateral quickness. That's impressive. 3rd down and 9. Jets 0 for 7 on 3rd down. What play would you call if you were Ryan Fitzpatrick? Trips formation. They isolate Enunwa at the bottom of the screen against Cooper. I'd take a good look down here.
Brandon Marshall was in the backfield, went in motion to the left. Just a 4-man rush from Arizona. Fitzpatrick on target. Bilal Powell could not get away from Dayon Buchanan. A terrific tackler in the middle of that Arizona defense. It'll be a 3-and-out to start in the second half for New York.
Buchanan, a former safety, #1 pick, moved to linebacker, led the team in tackles last year, and his ability to cover backs and tight ends in space, a huge luxury for Arizona.
Patrick Peterson back now for the 7th punt of the night from Lachlan Edwards. And he's down immediately. Well covered by Justin Burris, one of the standouts on special teams for New York. 2 minutes gone by, second half, 14-3 Arizona. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. By Benjamin Moore, paint like no other. By NFLshop.com. Get free shipping on orders today at the official store of the NFL. We hope that you farewell. Pioneer Pepper and the Sunset Pioneers after some of the sights and sounds of Metropolitan Phoenix. David Johnson on the first play from scrimmage of the second half did not get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, David Johnson started things off with a beautiful run. He made Aaron Henderson miss, picked up a block from Larry Fitzgerald, and he hit it. Then he had beautiful blocking on a goal line situation. He walked in for his 2nd touchdown, and he comes out of the backfield, and he is one of the best dual threat running backs in football. We do have an injured Jet.
Darren Lee was already in for the injured David Harris at linebacker. Darren Lee limped off the field. They're looking at his right leg. He's now their leading tackler for the year, the rookie out of Ohio State. In for David Harris, the starting inside linebacker, who did not start tonight for the first time since 2008. He had a hamstring injury. Carson Palmer under duress threw short of David Johnson. Aaron Henderson put pressure on the quarterback. Here's a look back at where Darren Lee got hurt as he goes twisting over the pile. His right ankle trapped.
Already missing David Harris, who started 121 straight games. That tears apart your communication. Now Todd Bowles has to call the play into Marcus Gilchrist, a safety, and he's struggling to get everybody on the same page. He plays back here in the post.
And Bowles said Harris is the glue that holds everyone together. He's also an inspirational leader. He won the Dennis Byrd Award as their most inspirational player 2 out of the last 4 years. Pass intended for Michael Floyd. He's been in the witness protection program tonight, but he was spotted by the officials and by Darrell Roberts, who's going to get called for the penalty.
Defense, number 27. File the foul, automatic, first down.
This is unbelievable. It's got to be the 9th penalty. It's going to be a post pattern, a timing post, and I think that's a good call. Buster screen, 3 pass interference calls. That's the 2nd penalty on 3rd down to extend drives, and can't do that against this quarterback down 11.
As you see, not highly penalized entering tonight, but the Jets have been flagged 9 times. David Johnson, boy, showing his ability, his patience, his ability to shift while at high speed. There's a flag thrown at the end of the run. He got to the 41 for a first down. It looks like it's coming back.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 15. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Michael Floyd, he just can't buy a break. He's dropped some passes. Let's see if he pushes Buster screen in the back.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Looked like he was playing two-hand touch. Gave a little touch on the numbers.
It's a hard game to broadcast. Wow. Every play there's a penalty, but first down and 7.
If we're looking for reasons why TV ratings are down in the NFL all over the place, this doesn't help.
No.
The way this game has been officiated is not something anybody wants to watch. David Johnson stopped at the line of scrimmage. And I say that, I think the games that we have broadcast, John, this year at least have been free of a lot of disputes, because we haven't got our main man Jerry Austin on camera very much, and that means we've had very few controversies in the games. I mean, Jerry's family is starting to wonder if he really actually is coming to Monday Night Football week to week, and we can let them know he is here.
He's over here punching me in the ribs every time there's a flag, and he's hit me a lot tonight.
Well, luckily, after those agility drills, you're able to move quickly. Palmer on target. Jaron Brown yanked back. He got enough for the first down inside the 45 before he was sent backwards by Darrelle Revis.
One of the things I wanted to see David Johnson improve at was picking up blitzes. Watch him pick this blitz up on the right side of your screen. Aaron Henderson. That's an area that he needs to improve at. And Bruce Arians is not easy on this young halfback. He is on this guy's case a lot, but he has proven tonight he can do everything.
Yeah, Bruce Arians is on just about everybody's case. Has the great knack to motivate players. Very funny, but also very ornery was the word Todd Bowles used. We asked Todd Bowles, what was Bruce like when he was your coach at Temple when you were playing for him in 1983? He said, if anything, he cussed more and was even more ornery back then, which seems hard to believe when you're around BA these days. All or Nothing, that series at which he appears, gives you a good look at his very interesting personality.
Players want to be coached hard, and I think that's a trait that they admire here in Arizona.
No question. The record speaks for itself. David Johnson.
Another penalty.
Flag down at the line of scrimmage. They're going to count how many snaps in a row they might be able to play without a flag.
Perhaps illegal motion.
Illegal shift. Offense. two backs moving and did not get completely set. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
You know, some of these penalties, it's just sloppy football. These players, Arizona had a big win Thursday night in San Francisco. Bruce Arians gave them 5 days off to rejuvenate physically, mentally. See how excited those fans are.
Andre Ellington on the field now. They do not have Johnson in the back for the moment. There have been 16 accepted penalties in this game. Another New York blitz after the clutch. Oh, boy. A flag. What do you know? Michael Floyd has a catch and may not count.
Holding. Defense, number 41. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Buster Screen is going to have to go inside and be a nickel. Every time he's lined up on the outside, he's been penalized. That's 4 times tonight. I don't know how you play bump and run anymore if all these are penalties. Let him play. Oh, boy.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, Arizona determined not to be outdone in the penalty area. Now 9 penalties, New York 8 for Arizona.
17 penalties.
Well,
we have 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
The catch by Floyd was his first of the night. And they're still waiting for him to become the kind of factor he's been here in the past. After the penalty, Andre Ellington.
Ellington is another good back. He has had injuries the last 2 seasons, but this young man can run it. He can catch it. He's picking up blitzes, and at times Bruce Arians uses Ellington and Johnson together in a 2 halfback set, but with Chris Johnson out, Ellington is being asked to fill in for Johnson, and he's doing a nice job.
And Chris Johnson, of course, a terrific player. He's out with a groin injury. They have a lot of depth. There's Ellington. Well, they're the only team in the league that has had a different player lead them in rushing each of the last 6 seasons, and David Johnson is likely going to make that 7 years in a row with a different leading rusher.
Well, they've only had one go over 1,000 yards. They used to accuse Arizona of being a one-dimensional offense, and last year that all changed with the addition of Chris Johnson and this young man, David Johnson. This is a balanced offense.
Johnson back in there on 3rd down and 3. They are in field goal range. They find Johnson. Far sideline, out of bounds, first down. Gently shoved across the sideline by Bruce Carter. Well executed by Arizona on 3rd down.
That's good design by Bruce Arians. Watch Floyd run interference for Johnson. He's going to run interference on Bruce Carter, the linebacker, and that's an easy first down. Good design by this offensive staff. First down, Arizona. Using a lot of good skill players. You said it, General Manager Steve Keim done an excellent job finding players.
A fake to Johnson and the quick pop and the catch made by John Brown. Well, John, I asked Terry McDonough, the vice president of player personnel for the Cardinals, how did David Johnson last to the 3rd round? When you look at the guy, he's got the size, 6'1", he's 225, he can run, he ran a 4.5 40. He was very productive in college, put up great numbers. You said he was a receiver and a running back. As Terry said, great character.
Is that man related to you?
Yeah, yes, he is. He's been my younger brother. It's a huge part of this organization, helping to draft guys like David Johnson. Here he comes. Oh. But sometimes you get lucky too, John, as you know. And if people watch that All or Nothing show, they were going to draft Amir Abdullah out of Nebraska in the 2nd round 2 years ago. He got picked 1 pick before him. So they wound up taking Johnson in the 3rd round instead, and they wound up with Marcus Bolden with that 2nd round pick, and that's worked out very well.
Sometimes luck enters into the equation. You never know. One year I wanted to draft Deshaun Jackson, but I took Dexter Jackson because Deshaun went 1 pick ahead.
Best Jackson
now I'm
available.
up here with you.
Well,
the luck went against me.
Best Jackson available strategy, sometimes it backfires against. 1st and goal from the 3. Johnson. And I think what jumped out too at the Cardinals, and you see it when you're in their facilities, we were the other day, John, the character, not just of him, but player to player and through the coaching staff. We mentioned earlier one of 6 children, single mother who spent time in jail when they were in the 4th grade, David Johnson and his 2 triplet sisters. And he went to work in the cornfields to raise money as a very young boy. Handyman in college, removed asbestos to make money while he was in college. He is an A-plus human being in addition to his football skills. And an emerging star in the NFL. Do they give it to him again? They do. Touchdown, David Johnson on the 14th play of the drive.
And remember, they're doing it with 2 backup guards. Earl Watford at right guard, Wetzel at left guard, 2 backup players, and they are smoking the Jets. Double team, excellent work by Gresham, 2 walk-in touchdowns, and New York is in serious trouble.
All 3 touchdowns for David Johnson. His 2nd 3-touchdown game of his career, which isn't even a year and a half in. That one against Philly a year ago. Catanzaro adds the extra point. 7.5-minute drive. David Johnson, a lot of the work. 3 touchdowns tonight for the 2nd-year man from Northern Iowa. Screening saves lives. The NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more about a crucial catch day on October 25th. Find out how you can help make a crucial catch at NFL.com/pink. Bruce Arians with his trademark hat, pink tonight, in honor of the fight against breast cancer. Boy, he and his family, this community, they are so involved, do so much for charity. Chandler Catanzaro kicks off again through the back of the end zone.
See if the Jets jump in a 2-minute drill. That's all they can do.
Ryan Fitzpatrick and the New York Jets behind 21-3 now, struggling in just about every area tonight, John, including 3rd down.
Well, a couple of these 3rd downs of protection's good enough. Reset, make these throws. Another 3rd down situation. Quincy Enunwa, ball's too high, and then in the 2-minute drill right at the end of the 1st half, got to find a way in the pocket to maneuver and see some of these Jets that are open. Got to pick up the tempo if you're Ryan Fitzpatrick. Down 18.
4 touchbacks tonight for Catanzaro. So the line of scrimmage again, the 25. 4-man rush from Arizona. Still flushed Fitzpatrick on the move to Quincy Enunwa, who's finally wrestled down by Kevin Minter. It's a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
That's a good job by Fitzpatrick. Move around in the pocket. It's not going to be clean when you're in a no-back set. Moves to his right. Enunwa works with his quarterback. 1st down Jets. Surprised they're in the huddle. Got to get up and get going. Get back in this football game. Trips formation. If it's man-to-man, they're going to work Marshall at the top of the screen. They love to isolate him.
Marshall and Peterson, they've been battling just about all night. That was the first catch of the night for Quincy Enunwa, who led them in reception starting tonight. Now Robbie Anderson, the rookie out of Temple, continued to fight and nearly paid a big price for it. Harold Simon, the primary tackler.
Man, Sean, these guys aren't at Temple anymore. Anderson does not want to turn back inside where that pursuit is coming from. Frosty Rucker buried him.
Well, this Anderson at 190 pounds at 6'3". That might be generous. Brandon Marshall says he's a stud, tremendous speed and great hands. He thinks Anderson's going to be a star in the NFL. Fitzpatrick's pass batted down at the line of scrimmage, perhaps by Frosty Rucker, who had his hand in the air. 4 minutes to go, third quarter.
It's not a lot of production. Last 14 quarters, just 2 offensive touchdowns. I think if you check last year, Sean, I think this Jet offense scored 2 touchdowns in every single game.
That is correct. Ryan Fitzpatrick was well aware of that stat when we visited with him yesterday. Average distance to go on third down, nearly 10 yards. Another big reason why they're 0 for 8 and fighting the crowd. From the 41. 3rd and 6, and they convert on third down. Sharon Peak held on as Tyrann Mathieu tried to pop it out on the tackle. Gain to the 45 of Arizona, 14 yards.
Give Brandon Marshall an assist. Slot combination. And Marshall runs interference for Peak, who's been impressive in the slot tonight. Rookie out of Clemson.
4 catches for Peak, matching the total he had for the season coming in. There's some of that talent they were talking about from Robbie Anderson, who made the team as an undrafted free agent. He had more receiving yards in the preseason than any player in the NFL.
Oh, he had 16 touchdowns at Temple. Good kickoff returner, and it's time for Arizona to blitz.
Now they try to surprise him with the run, and Bilal Powell has the first down to the 33-yard line as the clock runs under 3 minutes to go in the third.
And Fitzpatrick now in the no-huddle offense. Use his experience. Remember, Fitzpatrick, a lot of experience with offensive coordinator Chan Gailey. Played for him at Buffalo.
Ryan has started at quarterback for 6 different teams in the National Football League. The record by quarterback is 7 different teams. Oh, Peak got drilled, lost the football. Is it a live ball? At least for the moment. Now no. DJ Swearinger delivered a crushing blow on Sharon Peak.
Take a look at this at real speed. Totally legal. Swearinger with his right shoulder. Left side of your screen. Down comes Swearinger. He read it all the way. That's good football. And at a clock stoppage on 2nd down and 10, there's a flag.
Yeah, just now. The officials just now, as Peak tries to walk it off. And of course, if there's any
After
question,
the play was over,
and there is, they're going to
the
look
layup
at him.
game, defense number 32 for spiking the ball in the field of play. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You see the man in the blue hat is part of the concussion protocol, getting a good look at Peak. Let's hope he's okay. NFL doing a great job monitoring player safety. And 2nd down and 5. Jets on the move.
Officials have stopped the clock. There is not a flag on the ground. Words we have not spoken very often tonight.
One of the longest third quarters in Monday night history.
Crowd still doesn't like the penalty against Tyrann Mathieu for spiking the ball after the last play.
There was a question regarding the correct down. It was a dead ball play. 2nd down.
2nd down and 5, and can the Jets protect? Time for Chandler Jones. Bottom of the screen, Marcus Golden at the top of the screen to cut one loose.
Short pass, incomplete for Jalen Marshall. They own Buchanan there to blow it up.
Some of these throws have been telegraphed by Fitzpatrick. A lot of these big hits, the direct result of quarterbacks telegraphing throws. Watch where Fitzpatrick's eyes go. Looking at the receiver all the way, and these Arizona Cardinals with incredible team speed break on the ball, and collisions are inevitable. 3rd and 5.
Noisy homecoming for the Arizona native Ryan Fitzpatrick, in need of a big play, and has one to Jalen Marshall. Tackled by Tyrann Mathieu at the 17-yard line. 1st down, New York.
And Tyrann Mathieu returning to his nickel corner position, still a little rusty in coverage. The rookie Marshall on 3rd down with a nice release. Good ball placement by Fitzpatrick. 1st down, New York.
Marshall missed the last 2 weeks with a shoulder injury. It's his first catch of the night. Trying to set up a screen again. Flag down, ball batted down, intended for Bilal Powell. Chandler Jones in the face of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Holding. Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Brian Winters, the right guard who missed last week's game at Pittsburgh with a concussion that he inflicted upon himself on a headbutt the previous week.
Well, Clady had a penalty in the red zone in the 1st half, and
that's a hold.
They catch Winters here in the 3rd quarter. Hard game to watch with all the penalties.
10 against New York for 83 yards. 1st and 20. Then just a 4-man rush. Fitzpatrick far side, incomplete. Intended for Jalen Marshall. Looked like he might have missed time to jump slightly. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, Jets receiver Sharon Peak is headed back to the Jets locker room for further evaluation. The good news appears to be at least he's jogging back to the locker room, so at least that's a good sign. John?
You got to make these throws, Sean. I know the protection has been up and down tonight, but when you get a guy wide open, you got to make those throws. And Fitzpatrick knows that.
On 2nd and 20, another 4-man rush, and the catch made by Anunwa over the middle. Wrestled down by Tony Jefferson, safety out of Oklahoma.
Tight window throw that time. And Anunwa came in with more catches than any other receiver on this Jets football team. Does a nice job protecting it on impact. Good throw that time. 3rd down.
13-yard gain to make it 3rd down and 7 as we approach 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Monday Night Football from Glendale, Arizona. The Cardinals up 21-3. The Jets threatening. Fitzpatrick pressured by Golden. Got it off, and it's intercepted. The first turnover of the game goes to DJ Swearinger.
And the 2nd half woes of the New York Jets continue.
Second interception of the season for Swearinger, set up by the pressure from Marcus Golden. 11th interception of the year by Fitzpatrick, 4 of them in the red zone. That's also the most in the NFL. This one's a killer.
Well, Marshall down the seam. Swearinger is going to intercept the ball, but perhaps if he has a little bit more time, he can give Jalen Marshall a chance. But he has been known to give Marshall every opportunity. He stares down Marshall. That's exactly what Arizona told us in the production meetings. We know where he's going on 3rd down. We're going to read his eyes, and we're going to pick his pocket. And this Jet offense in the 2nd half, over the last 4 games, just hasn't been able to show up.
No touchdowns, 10 interceptions in the 2nd half this season for Ryan Fitzpatrick. David Johnson plows his way forward out near the 15-yard line. Swearinger the interception, the 5th of his career. His first came against Carson Palmer, now his quarterback and teammate. That was when Swearinger played for Houston and Palmer was here.
But it's another free agent acquisition that Arizona has brought in here to make a huge contribution. Swearinger was in Tampa. He was in Houston. He just had a huge hit on Sharon Peak. He intercepts a pass, and you put these players in this environment with this veteran leadership, this head coach, people take off. It's a credit to them.
And they're starting to look like the team that won 13-3 last year and played in the NFC Championship game. End of the third quarter, Monday Night Football from Glendale, Arizona. The Cardinals comfortably on top. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, our director Chip Dean, our outstanding Monday Night Football crew. Delighted to have you with us from Glendale, Arizona. Not a happy return to Arizona for Todd Bowles, the former Cardinal defensive coordinator. His Jets down 21-3. Looking at their 4th consecutive loss and a 1-5 start unless this turns around in a hurry. Carson Palmer and the catch in traffic made by Larry Fitzgerald. First down as he worked his way to the 26.
Larry Fitzgerald, 33 years old. If he keeps playing until he's 42 years old like Jerry Rice, he's maybe the one guy that could break the great Jerry Rice's receiving records because he's ahead of schedule. I keep hearing how he's thinking about retiring. I tried to just remind him he's still one of the best. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, he poo-pooed those reports from earlier in the year that he was thinking about retiring at the end of the year. He still enjoys playing. He's in great physical condition. Trouble with the snap for Palmer, so he just goes down to the ground. Well, Larry Fitzgerald today, 33 years, 47 days old, and he has significantly more catches than Jerry Rice did at the same age. As you said, John, Rice played until he was 42 years old, which helped him set the all-time receptions record with 1,549. So Larry would have to play a while to become the all-time leader, 9th all-time right now.
It's the work ethic, though. It's the uncommon work ethic that gives him a chance.
David Johnson. Well, you spent time coaching Jerry Rice. You were in San Francisco and Oakland when he was there, and you saw his work ethic up close.
Well, he's 39 years old. He loved practice. The harder he worked, the better he played. He practiced like it was a game. He practiced making long runs. If you're a young receiver, get off the couch and work as hard as these guys. And when I see Fitzgerald practice, he practices as hard as Jerry Rice. He does an unbelievable job competing. He does all the little things, and that alone is going to give him a chance to play until he's 42 if he wants to. If you see Larry Fitzgerald, encourage him to keep playing. I love watching him. I know you do too.
Yep, no greater ambassador for the game. The ultimate gentleman and man of character. Juggling catch inbounds for John Brown.
Both of these great receivers complement these young receivers. What a catch by Smokey John Brown. I think he completed the process, Jerry. Let's hope there's no challenge. But you know, when you go back to Rice and Fitzgerald, it's the little things they do. They make so many plays without the ball as blockers, as clear out guys. Pleasure.
On 1st and 10, Carson Palmer forced it down the field again to John Brown. Another one of those finds by the Arizona scouts out of Pittsburgh State. And another first down. 12-yard gain.
Good timing pattern, and John Brown on these outside breaking routes has really done a great job walking the chalk.
We talk about what Steve Keim has done. 2 years ago, they had the 20th pick in the draft. They really liked Dale Buchanan. They had heard scuttlebutt. Most teams thought he was a 2nd-round pick, so they traded backwards 7 picks for the 27th pick with New Orleans. They wound up picking this man. David Johnson, obviously, in the 3rd round a couple of years ago. But when they got John Brown, they traded backwards 7 picks, got Dayon Buchanan, and they got an extra pick from the Saints, a 3rd round pick, which they used to get John Brown. So they got 2 players who are very productive here in that move. Of course, New Orleans got Brandon Cooks, a receiver who they really like as well. This guy has done a phenomenal job.
Yes, he has. And they've worn New York out. They've even worn these officials out.
Johnson over 100 yards rushing, 6 straight games to open the year with 100+ yards from scrimmage. The only player in the league to do that. There's John Brown again out of Pittsburgh State. First down inside the 35-yard line with Buster Skrine in coverage.
Hey, backup guards. Good pass protection. Buster Skrine, who's had 4 penalties tonight. He's a nickel corner. He's a man that needs to play in the slot. And he's pressed into service with all the injuries and things that have happened here, and he's had a rough night tonight.
3 receptions on the last 4 plays for John
guys.
Brown.
12 Jets on the field, I believe. It'd be another penalty.
Before the foul, timeout, New York. Their first of the quarter.
21-3 Arizona, 10.5 to go on Monday night. Some crispy bacon piled atop a half-pound of 100% beef, only at Burger King. Coverage tonight from Skycam here in beautiful Glendale, Arizona, brought to you by American Express. Cardinals on the move, 1st and 10, leading 21-3, and Carson Palmer hit by a blitzing Bruce Carter. He got it off. Forward pass incomplete.
One of the few times the Jets have gotten home. Carter, number 54, bottom of your screen, unblocked. That's a big hit.
John, you talked before the game about the big concern for Arizona, this patchwork offensive line. They were without their 2 starting guards, Evan Mathis and Mike Iupati. John Wetzel and Earl Watford in at left and right guard, respectively. No sacks against Carson Palmer tonight against a Jets team that's blitzed a lot. And here they come again. Quick throw off the hands and incomplete. Jermaine Gresham couldn't hang on.
This is what Todd Bowles does. He is going to all-out blitz you. These aren't single backer blitzes. This is jailbreak blitzes. They're bringing everybody, and Palmer has gone down on back-to-back snaps. Jordan Jenkins, rookie out of Georgia. And on 3rd down and 10, don't be surprised if Bruce Arians doesn't keep some people in, max this protection, and take a shot.
Everybody standing on that defensive front for the Jets. Palmer's throw caught. John Brown again. Darryl Roberts the tackle, but it's a 1st down for the Cardinals at the 20-yard line.
That's just good play calling by Bruce Arians. Max the protection. You keep Gresham in. You keep Johnson in. Give your quarterback time against this Jet defense to let it rip. And Palmer, when he's been protected tonight, he's been in complete rhythm. He's using this virtual reality technology to help him become a better quarterback. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
A lot of resources. Use a system called Striver. Both of these teams do to help the quarterbacks. David Johnson ahead for 2. And you like it because you like gadgets. And are you going to be able to talk? We want me to hold your headset because you have to put on. This is quite a contraption here. All right, well, look at this. Good job there, Coach. You look great.
I do like these gadgets. You look through your eyes and you see the defense just like you're there. You're in your house. You're watching TV, eating popcorn, and you're watching the game. You're surveying the defense. You're making calls. I can't really see what's going on in real life right now, but
you got to leave those on. They hand it off to J.J. Nelson, and he's out of bounds with a first down. So basically, you know, those cameras at the practice, they have them all over the place, and when you put on that goggle apparatus that you have on, you basically see, Carson Palmer can see what he saw when he was at practice, but he gets a look at the coverage. He said he even can review his own mechanics. Striver, it's a terrific system that these quarterbacks use.
Most importantly, players all learn differently. Some of them learn off the chalkboard. Some of them learn off the film. Some need walkthroughs or demonstrations. Some need this modern technology. Palmer loves it. It works for him. Good for Arizona for providing the technology to help him.
Developed by Stanford University. Throw the corner. Michael Floyd. Touchdown, Arizona.
You get this modern technology, you see the blitz better. You can make plays like that. What a throw. And I am so happy to see Floyd come through. It's an excellent throw, but Michael Floyd, I think, is going to be the X factor for Arizona. Smokey John Brown. You have Fitzgerald. If this young man regains his playmaking and his confidence with David Johnson running the rock, look out.
Question is, did he have possession in bounds? And they are going to review it as all scoring plays are reviewed. Carson Palmer thinks he has his first touchdown pass of the night. We'll find out if that is correct after this. Back in Glendale, Arizona, Bruce Arians, Michael Floyd looking up at the big screens here at University of Phoenix Stadium, trying to see if they can figure out if this is going to be a touchdown or not. Here comes Jerome Boger.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
Third touchdown of the year for Floyd. A big celebration from Bruce Arians, who's been looking for more, as what they've received in the past from Michael Floyd.
It's a great play.
And they're looking at Carson Palmer's leg. Meanwhile, Geno Smith's been warming up on the Jets sideline. Chandler Catanzaro adds the extra point. It's 28-3. Will Geno get into the game? We'll find out right after this. On the Jets sideline, Geno Smith with his helmet on. He's been warming up. A number of his teammates going over and talking to him. It certainly appears that he's going to come into the game here in the fourth quarter. Former starter, started as a rookie, started for 2 years, injured and did not play, and has not appeared in the game this season. Played in one game last year.
Got to find out where Geno Smith is. His contract about to expire. See what he's got.
Back-to-back 14-play touchdown drives for Arizona. Chandler Catanzaro kicks off. The Cardinals have held the ball for just about 7.5 minutes each of those drives. 5 kickoffs, 5 touchbacks for Catanzaro. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, that entire last series when Arizona's offense was on the field after Ryan Fitzpatrick threw that interception, Geno Smith was over here on the sideline pacing up and down, looking very frustrated that his number wasn't called. It eventually was. He's now in the game. Remember, before the game, he told me that he didn't mind not playing as long as the team was doing well, but because the team wasn't playing well, he said he was antsy. He said the quarterback room was fine. He gets along great with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just ready for a shot. John?
And he's getting it right here with his team down 28-3 with 8:20 to go. His first pass of the season caught Quincy Enunwa trying to run away from Tony Jefferson, who tracked him down. But it's a first down for New York at the 42-yard line. 17-yard gain.
This man has talent. He's just been hot and cold. There have been a lot of different offensive systems come and go in New York. He came out of a college program in West Virginia that was unique. If I'm Todd Bowles, it's a long flight home tonight to New York. I'm going to learn something about Geno Smith tonight.
4-man rush. He throws to the near side. Teron Peak Taken across the sideline by Tyrann Mathieu, a gain of 5.
And you see how effortless he is throwing the football. He's not a rookie. He's not a first-year player anymore. He was thrust into a very difficult position. We had him on Monday night on the road. He beat Atlanta. He's had some good moments. He's had some horrible moments. Love to see him get some completions, have some success, and move the Jets.
Started all 16 games as a rookie in 2013. Started 13 more in his second year. Got in only 1 game last year after the punch from a teammate that broke his jaw here in the game against Oakland, relieving an injured Ryan Fitzpatrick. He took off on the run there and reached the 48-yard line. The Jets looking at a 1-5 start against this very tough schedule. The good news is they have only 2 games remaining against teams that were in the playoffs a year ago. Both of those games are against the New England Patriots. Smith, good throw. Bilal Powell extended the ball, trying to get the first down. They're not going to give him the mark, and Dayon Buchanan right there to make sure they don't.
Well, I thought Powell stretched for that first down. Good receiving back. Takes over for Matt Forte, surprisingly, in the 2-minute drill. 4th down and short. Remember, the Jets do not have a fullback. Look for the quarterback sneak. Not from the shotgun.
Bilal Powell has the first down. Well, John, our Adam Schefter reporting all day long on our NFL programming during the day that the owner, Woody Johnson, is getting very impatient. He didn't think when he brought in Mike McCagnon, the GM, and Todd Bowles, that this was a major rebuilding job, and it didn't look like it last year when they won 10 games. This is a big surprise and a big disappointment. And now you have a quarterback question on top of it, and it's likely to be a 1-5 start. Robbie Anderson thrown down by Swearinger. So what do you do going forward? I mean, you're 1-5. You're almost certainly not going to make the playoffs. So you play Geno Smith again, see if you want to keep him beyond the end of his contract at the end of this year.
I'm going to see how this game finishes, but clearly you have Ryan Fitzpatrick on a 1-year contract, and you have to see where these young guys are, and you got to start preparing for your future. Give these guys some reps on the practice field. That's what drives me crazy. This collective bargaining agreement, there's no reps for Hackenberg. There's no reps for Bryce Petty. These 2 guys are just sitting over there in street clothes. They don't even get to practice during the week. Got to find out about Smith. I'm not letting a good player at that position walk out my door without crystal clear knowledge. And Fitzpatrick has had 6 games. I know he's played a very difficult schedule, but Smith is a better athlete. He's got more arm talent, and he's in the 2nd year of Chan Gailey's offense. I want to see Smith.
He's 4 out of 5. There's 3rd down and 3. 2 out of 12 the Jets tonight. On 3rd down, contact made by Alex Okafor, and the Jets on the fumble. Ben Ijalana, the right tackle, got on Smith's fumble after Alex Okafor knocked it out. Backup linebacker out of Texas.
Oh, you got a backup right tackle. Giacomini not in the game. Ijalana, who really didn't play at all last year. Doesn't matter who plays quarterback with that protection. 4th down and 11.
That counts as a sack. It's the first sack of the game for either team.
Got to hurry inside of 5 seconds.
And down to 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Timeout. Leaves the Jets with 1 timeout. We hope you'll join us next Monday night from Denver. Brock Osweiler returns to Denver as the quarterback of the Houston Texans. He'll have to deal with Von Miller and the rest of the Super Bowl champion Broncos. 8:15 Eastern. Coverage starts at 6 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. 4th and 11 New York. 4:27 to go. The Jets down 28-3. They're at the Arizona 47. Here comes a Cardinal blitz. Geno Smith, tight spiral, intercepted by Tyrann Mathieu. Flag down on the play, and Mathieu is out of bounds back at the 38. They're going to bring it back at the very least because he went out of bounds, and we also have to figure out the flag on the far side of the field near the line of scrimmage.
Boy, is it great to see the Honey Badger back, though. MVP candidate a year ago went down with a serious injury, and let's see how this unfolds.
It stands. It's the first interception of the year.
It's an interception, stepping out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Illegal shift, offense, number 15. That penalty is declined. First down, Arizona.
4th down and 11. You got to give somebody a chance, but where do you go with the football? You have a rookie 7th-round pick out of Clemson working against Tyrann Mathieu. I like Matthew's odds. Arizona has completely dominated the Jets, and I don't know that it matters who plays quarterback.
Tyrann Mathieu, first team All-Pro last season. His 4th year now out of LSU. Again, we talk about assembling a team, John, as Drew Stanton's going to come on at quarterback. Carson Palmer, hamstring injury, is not going to return. Didn't look serious when he was on the bike. But Tyrann Mathieu, great talent. A lot of people think he's the best safety in the game now. With character issues in college, they went and did their due diligence with him. And not only has he been a model citizen here, he's one of their team captains. Andre Ellington ahead. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So Carson Palmer does not appear to be in any great physical distress on the sideline. Took some hits on those last 2 drives.
Big hits. Bruce Carter got him the first time, and Jordan Jenkins got him the second time. That's one tough quarterback. I spent some time with him on the Monday Night Bus yesterday. How do you not like Carson Palmer? He's been in some tough spots in Cincinnati, in Oakland. He's come to Arizona. He's found the right offense, the right coach, and the right supporting cast, and they're still throwing it.
Yes, they are. Drew Stanton's pass deflected. It's that kind of night for the New York Jets. Winds up being a catch by Jaron Brown, and now he's not getting up and grasping at his knee. 12-yard gain.
This Jaron Brown is really coming on. Let's hope this isn't serious. Kind of a strange play call in a 28-3 game, but
especially against your buddy of 33 years, to whom you're a father figure, Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles. And Brown helped off the field. Hit by Marcus Gilchrist on the catch. Left leg injury for Brown.
I expect Arizona to run the ball and get out of here. Seattle comes to town next Sunday night.
That'll be a huge division game. Drew Stanton, you heard him say, just wait, just wait. He's a veteran. Wants to let the play clock run down here. 10th-year man out of Michigan State, very briefly a New York Jet. Started and won last week at San Francisco. Andre Ellington. First down, and smartly slides down inbounds to keep the clock moving. 13-yard gain.
Counter play. Good quickness, good vision by Ellington.
Those Clemson guys weren't very nice to Steve Keim when we were there Saturday. Steve played at NC State, the GM of the Cardinals. Was watching the end of that that NC State game against Clemson on Saturday, when all NC State had to do was kick a chip shot field goal at the end of regulation to win. They were in the cafeteria in the Cardinal facility watching the end of the game. Of course, the field goal was missed. Steve agonized And the Clemson guys, and there are 3 of them on this Arizona team, gave him a very hard time. Of course, Clemson won in overtime. Ellington, one of those Clemson Tigers in his 4th year. His carry will take us to the 2-minute warning. Bruce Arians and the Cardinals on their way to a 3-3 record with a victory on Monday night.
2-minute warning here in Arizona. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Levy. Charles Woodson and Matt Hasselbeck will join me coming up here on the field to break down the game on the GMC postgame report. And Sports Center night with Scott Van Pelt. Scotty will have all the baseball playoff action. And there's one big thing. Should coaches be allowed to challenge pass interference? We'll all see you on Sports Center immediately after the game. Sean and John bring us home.
All right. Thank you very much, Steve.
Let's hope not. This game would have lasted all night.
Stephon Taylor in at running back now. 4th-year man out of Stanford gets the carry. Wrestled down by Sheldon Richardson. Well, we've been talking all night about David Johnson. Why wouldn't we? Another 100-yard rushing night. Leading the league in yards from scrimmage. Last year against Philadelphia had 187 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Tonight he has rushed for 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Cardinal franchise goes back to 1920. He's the only player in Cardinal history with 2 career games with 100 or more rushing yards and 3 rushing TDs in the same game.
Good back, and he should thank his offensive coordinator, Harold Goodwin, for the job he's done with this offensive line. All the changes and injuries. Wow.
Stephon Taylor.
Look at these backup guards. This right guard, Earl Watford, is making people forget about Evan Mathis in a hurry. I mean, he pulls from right to left. There's Wetzel, who's filling in at left guard, but watch Earl Watford at right guard. He's going to pull. He does a nice job. He and Wetzel have filled in nicely.
Against one of the best lines, at least allegedly. You know, Bruce Arians said the Jets' front line of the defense is one of the best in the league. They haven't really played like it tonight. But John Wetzel was a guy who spent 3 full years on practice squads in Dallas and Indianapolis and Oakland. Never played. Finally got thrown in last week due to injury, and he's been terrific for Bruce Arians. The Cardinals win their 2nd in a row. The longtime friends didn't communicate during the week. As you might expect, a warm embrace, and there are the 2 longtime friends and former teammates, Carson Palmer and Ryan Fitzpatrick. 3-3 are the Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald with a convincing 28-3 win against the Jets, now 1-5 and with a lot of problems as they head back for a long flight tonight. GMC postgame on SportsCenter coming up next. John and I will be back in just a matter of seconds for the Gruden Grinder. Thanks for watching Monday Night Football from Glendale, Arizona.